Hey everyone, this is Aaron Fink from Grapple City Rewind. If you like what you hear on this episode, give us a follow, leave a review, cut a promo on us by calling 626-657-SLAM. Anything goes. It'll go a long way in helping us to be discovered by more wrestling fans like you. All right, cue the music.
Hello and welcome to Grapple City Rewind, taking you all the way back to the classic pay-per-views that shaped wrestling history. Today, we're rewinding to 1996 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, talking about WWF In Your House Mind Games. It's In Your House 10, I believe. We got some fun stuff to talk about on this one. We got a little glitter botch. We've got Jose Lothario in his only WWF televised match in history. I'll tell you later if it was a good one or a bad one. The pay-per-view debut of Mark Henry, and even a super rare, even for the time, 5-star WWF match, 5-star Talking Wrestling Observer, between HBK and Mankind. We'll tell you our thoughts on what worked, what didn't work, and what's worth your time to run back and rewatch on this one. But first, I am Bradley Palermo here, as always, with Aaron Fink. And Aaron, did you see Vikingo versus Mysterio this past weekend by any chance?
I did, yeah. I watched it live. It was fun and surprised, but also not surprised that Dominic Mysterio is now the AAA Mega Campeón.
Dude, yeah.
Pretty exciting for him. I think, well deserved. People cheer for him in WWE, but people go nuts for him in AAA. Like crazy nuts.
I think it was a great match. I think it was one of the better Vikingo matches, one of the better Mysterio matches, Dominic Mysterio matches. I think it's hilarious that, the two biggest promotions in Mexico, CMLL and AAA, both have American wrestlers wearing their gold from their respective companies. So, obviously MJF has got a CMLL title, I think like a preliminary one or not a major title. And then Dominic has got like the fucking main fucking title.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I do love these worlds colliding.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's always fun. Yeah, I enjoyed the Natty or Natalia match versus Fabi Apache, and it was nice to see Natty get a win for once. So yeah, it was a fun. We got our Mr. Iguana and Demonito appearances, as it appears to be the norm now.
Yeah, that Iguana dude is not going anywhere.
He's super over.
Selling fucking toy iguanas to children.
I'm sure they are, yeah. So that was really fun. And then another current product thing that I was excited about that happened right after we recorded our previous episode was the return of AJ Lee, the wife of CM Punk. And I think that they've handled it perfectly. The not so surprising surprise return that she had on SmackDown a couple weeks ago was, I think, flawlessly executed, not to mention the way Becky reacted to her showing up. Yeah. And I thought the promo the following Monday on Raw was also really good. She like a picture perfect promo from AJ Lee, introducing herself to people who didn't watch 10 years ago. And actually, I wasn't watching 10 years ago. I know who she is, obviously, because I'm a mark. But I think it's been great so far. I'm stoked on the mixed tag match at WrestlePalooza. Probably the only match that I'm genuinely interested in at the moment. I'm sure Cena versus Lesnar will be entertaining, and probably by the end of it, I'll be like, okay, that was dope, because the last few Cena matches have been spectacular.
I think AJ's I wasn't watching 10 years ago either, but I think AJ Lee has, if nothing else, the best abs in modern wrestling.
She might.
It's almost photoshopped. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And, I love, it's like not really part of the wrestling per se, but I love like how happy Punk is. Like, you can see it on his face, like during the commercial breaks and all the fan footage. He's like so happy that she's happy. And I love that for them. I'm glad that she's back. I'm glad that he gets to work with her. And I'm excited to see what comes after the mixed tag match. I assume maybe she'll take the Intercontinental belt off of Becky, but either way, there's a lot of cool matchups that can happen between AJ and so many of the women on the roster today.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with that, and I feel like, yeah, sure, you got to start with a mixed tag match. It's never a great match when it's a mixed tag match. It's especially in WWE, the men and the women aren't allowed to fight. So if you tag your partner, it means the other partner's significant other has to then automatically come in. And obviously in the indies and stuff, you can have couples fighting, and it's kind of interesting. In WWE, it's like a really weird kind of tag match. But they're still setting enough stuff up that's interesting. And yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised if AJ gets a few shots on Seth.
Right.
I don't think Punk's gonna hit Becky because he's a babyface, but I think the babyface female hitting the heel male that may happen.
You get a little bit of that, and then if the male does get a move on the female, it's usually going to be, it's not going to be like a closed fist, right? It's going to be some sort of wrestling hold. I've got your arm, maybe a body slam.
Go to sleep even. Like he's I think he did a GTS to Beth Phoenix many moons ago, so it's not unheard of.
Yeah, but I think the real problem with WrestlePalooza is that it's called WrestlePalooza. It sounds like your local craft fair being like, we're Studio City Palooza. Like it's just like an interesting put on the end of it. It's like, dude,
I think it was an ECW show. I think that, right? Yeah.
It was an ECW. Yeah, but I mean, dude, it's like,
it's a bad title or a bad name.
Of all the things you could come up with, and then we just got to say, at least he waited until September 12th, but Triple H, to the chance of You Sold Out, just announced that he is going to be putting WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia 2027. That shit's kind of whack. I don't know. What do you think? WrestleMania off U.S. soil into a place that fucking, I don't know, like hates gays and women?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of some of the Saudi Arabia generally doesn't seem to be a place that I would want to live. I don't think it's a place that any of the female wrestlers would actually want to live. I feel like this is one of those things where we can either stop watching because it is upsetting, or we are just going to accept it and move on. Not saying that it's the right thing to do. And in fact, I think Bianca had an interview, Bianca Belair, semi-recently, last few days, where she basically tried to talk it up and say like, oh, it's not that bad. It's been getting better. I think it's, what we've been able to do from 7 years ago when they wouldn't even let us wrestle there to now is a big improvement. And I agree that it is. It's complicated, right? That we could probably do a whole entire episode about the deal with them, whether it's good or not, what it really means, for fans, what kind of a message it sends in terms of what does TKO care about? Do they care about rights of people that are being oppressed in another country?
No.
It's probably not. They seem to only care about money, especially with did you see another current product thing I just thought of? Mark Shapiro. He's like, he's a president or a CEO or something of TKO. And he was basically talking about how, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, oh yeah, our ticket prices for WWE shows aren't as expensive as UFC yet, but
right.
We're trying to get there.
They've been talking about that WWE, and even before that Vince McMahon was trying to make it like a family accessible thing, which I feel like is what built the generational fandom. And now they're trying to, I think that's what happens with corporate stuff. It becomes sort of short-sighted. It's like, well, how can I count more beans now? Not about like the entire picture. Like, well, I don't see how charging less makes me more money. Okay, well, I kind of do. I see that if generations can go, then this won't die. Like, if I can't afford to bring my nephew, but I can just go myself, then it dies on my bloodline with me, right? So I just
might. I don't know.
I mean, well, and I'm talking about like individual antidotes, right? So not for everyone, but like, if I'm just some dude going going there by myself than like, okay, it's not $1,000 now, it's two. Like, okay, whatever, cool. But
Yeah.
like the people that you see as a person who sits in the front at wrestling, the people that you see are generally like solo hardcore fans who have imported themselves
Clearly super wealthy.
for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And they might be wealthy or they might just put everything they have into this, but they're not families. It is not like a family sort of thing, right? And
I mean, there are still plenty of families in the crowd. It's just
deeper up. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe
they're cutting people out, right? They're cutting a certain socioeconomic group out. And I totally agree. I think that despite all of the problems of Vince McMahon, one thing that he rarely ever compromised on was keeping things affordable so that you could take your kids, your grandkids, your nephews, your nieces, because it's exactly what you said. If you bring 5 people and 4 of them have never seen wrestling, they're going to have a great time and they're probably going to want to come back. So you may have made a fan or a consumer, you may have created a consumer for their entire lives. And now because prices are increasing, there aren't as many, there may not be as many instances of that moving forward. And I'm sure, I'm sure there are families who wanted to go to SummerSlam and were like, oh shit, it's $500 a ticket for like the section below the nosebleeds. Like, I can't take my 2 kids to that. That's $1,500. That's before we even buy food, buy belts, buy shirts. I as I've said before, I know it's a business, but they are going a little hard on the commodification of everything and increasing the prices of everything. I really want to go to WrestleMania next year in Vegas, but I know that if I go and sit where I want to sit, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars. And I have to reconcile with that fact. I have to save because I just don't have thousands of dollars sitting around except in an emergency fund. And going to WrestleMania is not an emergency.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I feel like even as someone who's given in and spent a lot of money, that there's obviously going to be diminishing returns. Like to do that and to treat yourself and to go hard, it's like, well, okay. I mean, I've sat up close at WrestleMania. I've, and other companies and concerts and stuff too. They're all doing it. Like they're like all entertainment is like really going for the jugular right now. But like when I do it, it's like, well, I ain't going back and getting a worse seat, and I ain't gonna fucking pay that shit again right now. So it's like, how often will I actually do it? And I guess you guys can get the fucking money. I guess the money's there. I mean, I have a little bit of the TKO stock, and it like outpaces the fucking S&P and the NASDAQ and everything else. So like for the past couple years, it's, they've been showing those fucking numbers, but like at some point
it'll be too much and they'll have to correct the other way. I mean, that's the thing, right? Is if they notice that, Boise doesn't sell out, they'll be like, okay, maybe we could have gone a little lower there. But if Boise, Chicago, LA, and Phoenix don't sell out, then they're like, okay, now we have a problem. We probably got to dump the prices a little bit. And even I think I told you this. I can't remember if I said this on the air, but when I went to Money in the Bank, we were there together. I bought tickets that were pretty good seats. I got to eat right next to Jay as he was coming down the entrance or the concourse. It was like $500 a ticket. And I was like, okay, fine. I haven't ever been to a premium live event. Like, it's worth it. And I went on to Ticketmaster a few days before, just curious to see how many more tickets were left. And I saw tickets in the section right next to me in the same row, and they were $325. And I was like, are you shitting me? Like,
it's all over the place. Yeah.
They lowered the prices a few days before so they could sell out, which again, smart business tactic, but it just made me angry and then made me never want to buy tickets early again.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And this episode has been brought to you by Weber for Law, your tag team partner when life body slams you out of nowhere. If you've been injured in an accident, motorcycle, car, dog bite, slip and fall, or even if you've been hit in the head with a flying steel chair, these are the guys to call. They've got knockout reviews on Google, a killer track record, and they always fight for the win. I can testify to that personally. Weber for Law took care of me, and they will take care of you too. Don't wait. Visit weberforlaw.com. That's WEBER, the number 4, law.com. Or call 818-502-9200. That's 818-502-9200. Weber for Law, your tag team partner when life body slams you out of nowhere. Yeah, and it was cool or whatever, but that was the last main thing I went to, but it wasn't that great of a show.
It was fine. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess when I think about how much money I spent on it, I was like, yeah, if I would have known.
And now it's time for the rewind.
All right, this week we watched WWF In Your House 10 Mind Games, which took place on September 22nd in 1996 at the Core State Center in Philly. The event started off with sort of a dark, eerie opening. Who can stop mankind? What horrors?
Cheese ball. It was so cheesy.
What horrors lie in the chamber of these tortured minds? Commentary. Of course, Vince McMahon with Mr. Perfect. He must have been injured or something. And Jim Ross. So we got a little bit of the bad, a little bit of the good on the commentary table. But no wasted time. The action starts right away, gets right into the first match, which is a Caribbean strap match, which by all accounts that I can tell is just a strap match. It's Bradshaw versus Savio Vega with referee Harvey Whippleman. Rare.
I noticed that too, right?
Rare to see him officiating, at least for me in my day. It was just
he was the manager, yeah.
This match featured dudes in the crowd that we saw in the last pay-per-view performing.
Yeah, we did.
ECW's Sandman. Oh, I got some heat on my Sandman comments, but we'll talk about that later. And Tommy Dreamer was in the crowd, so perfect Philly nod.
Heyman too.
Oh, Heyman was there. Shit, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of didn't see it, but it started, well, it was interesting because I heard the chants, the ECW chants first, and I was like, are they chanting ECW like during a Bradshaw Savio Vega match? And then there they were, and I was like, oh shit, this must be when they tried to do the invasion angle.
This was ECW's first major WWE invasion tease. So when Sandman and Dreamer were shown in the Philly crowd during the strap match, it was a step towards the 1997 ECW WWF crossover angle,
which didn't last and didn't work.
We have a strap match. It's classic strap match psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas sneaks the last turnbuckle after Bradshaw thinks he's got it won. You know, a strap match where you have to hit all four corners while you're strapped to the other guy. It's always like this, right?
Yeah.
And you notice it's always like someone thinks they won, and then their partner or their opponent was slapping the turnbuckle 1, 2, 3 every time they did and sneaks it out at the end.
So maybe I haven't seen a lot of strap matches except for this one and maybe we watched one other one and then the Punk McIntyre one from last year. But
that was the finish on that one too, right?
I don't think it was. I can't remember.
Well, maybe it wasn't.
This felt like kind of a weird way to finish because I felt like, well, don't they always say in the rules that you have to touch them uninterrupted? Like your opponent can't stop you or whatever. So that didn't apply. And then also they weren't really calling attention to the fact that Vega was touching them after Bradshaw was until the third one when Vince was like, oh, he's touched the third one also.
Right.
And so it was a little weird. I mean, I still enjoyed it. Bradshaw hits like a friggin' bus, dude. He just loves beating the shit out of people.
It's a weird kind of match, and it never really comes off right. It's always kind of like, what are the rules? Like he's hitting the second one, but they kind of fucked around for a while before that, and then next time he's starting over. It's like what really does break the tapping? Like I don't know.
It's whatever they want it to be. That's why there probably aren't too many of them anymore.
Even in the Punk Drew one, there was like lights that went on to tell you if it was active or not, and they didn't work. Anyways, this was a 7-minute match. Savio Vega won.
Did you notice that Bradshaw's name was Justin Hawk Bradshaw?
Justin Hawk Bradshaw.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, there was like the word Hawk on his tights, but I'm pretty sure that was what they called him. And I was like, that's okay. He went from Justin Hawk Bradshaw to just Blackjack Bradshaw, and then he was John Bradshaw Layfield, and it was JBL. Just funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't even seem like the same person as JBL.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. JBL was the commentator the other day at Worlds Collide, right?
Yeah, he's been doing the trip. I think he did Triple Mania too.
Yeah,
It's been fun. He's pretty funny. He was talking up Demony, like, oh god, it's Demonito. I'm so scared. I need an exorcist or whatever he said.
yeah. He was a CNN commentator for a while, right?
Was
At
he?
some point. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Let me see. Hold on.
Vitally important information. You know who I noticed while you're looking that up? Before the match started, they cut to the back for like a very quick interview, and it was Kevin Kelly. Do you remember Kevin Kelly? He's like the New Japan Pro Wrestling English commentator, or he was for a pretty long time. I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, I didn't know that Kevin Kelly worked for the WWF in the 90s.
In 2004, Layfield was hired by CNBC to be a contributor.
CNBC, okay.
He was fired because he's something to do with cannibalism joke. Well, it didn't fly well. Okay, we'll read the Wikipedia later, but yeah, you know. Okay, so I do have the Wrestling Observer ratings for these matches if anyone's interested. Only because this pay-per-view includes a very rare 5-star match from the Wrestling Observer, which he was only giving to New Japan at the time. This one was a 2. So if you wondered, 2-star
Thanks,
match.
Dave.
Dave Meltzer.
Yep.
Match 2 was Jose Lothario, the legendary Mexican wrestler from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Held a lot of gold all over the place. Wrestled up here, the NWA, never on TV though, and never in the WWE on TV until his squash match with Jim Cornette, of all fucking people.
You missed one thing actually before the match that I thought was absurd. I don't know if you noticed, but they cut to the back after the strap match, and Savio Vega was being attacked by Razor Ramon and Diesel.
Oh yeah,
they weren't there anymore. That was fucking fake Diesel and fake Razor.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude. When I saw that, I was like, wait, why did they shoot them from 50 feet away? And why did we never see their faces? And then I was like, this was after the curtain call, wasn't it? Because I think it was that year.
Yeah.
And they were already gone. So I was like, oh my God, they're about to, not in this pay-per-view, but on TV, they're about to do fake Diesel and fake Razor. What a dumb idea that was.
This whole thing was a weird time for WWE because Vince didn't really have new stars. He lost 2 of his biggest stars, Razor and Diesel. There wasn't like a Hulk Hogan or anything. Mm-hmm. Bret Hart, I don't know. I guess I wasn't there, but maybe a little difficult to get along with Vince. Sounds like is this really what I have? Shawn or Bret? They don't exactly look, like my beefy fucking Hogan, but I don't have a new beefy Hogan. So it's kind of an interesting time. And it's not really like full attitude.
Yeah, it's very transitionary, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yes, so the squash match.
Yeah, so Jose versus Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette, he comes out and he's visibly overweight.
Looks like a pumpkin.
Yeah, he's got some shit to talk. What did he say about Lothario? Yeah, I'm sure he had something funny to say.
Well, before he came out and started talking shit to the crowd, he had a little backstage thing, and he said that Jose Lothario is so old that he's the man that taught Jonah how to fish, like Jonah and the whale.
Wow.
Classic. Yeah, but he's looking pretty fat.
Jose is so old, his social security number is
1.
Genius. Yeah, pretty Genius.
Funny. You know what? He takes good bumps though. Cornette made Jose look like $1 million.
Yeah, he did. He does take good bumps. He does actually understand wrestling. Obviously, he's trained a lot of wrestlers that are in high regard for the history of wrestling. He's especially in Ring of Honor. He had a lot of fucking dudes that we love now.
He wasn't there a super long time. Really, I think the biggest impact he made was probably on OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, because I think he was there when like Cena was there and Batista and all those people, like that whole class. I think that was the same time Cornette was there. I could be wrong though.
I think he worked with early Kevin Stein. He worked with early
Kevin Steen?
Brock Lesnar. Kevin Steen. Sorry.
Yeah, Kevin Owens now. I think Lesnar was part of that class at OVW too. So yeah, this match was over before it began. It was like 90 seconds or something like that. Mr. Perfect said that Cornette looks like the Michelin tire man, which I thought was pretty funny. We got done with that, and then we got our obligatory 900 number ad. If you wanted to talk to who was it? If you wanted to talk to Farouk and Sonny, it was $1.99 a minute. But if you wanted to talk to the other people, it was $1.49 a minute.
Pick up the phone.
Yes, big part of 90s history. Oh, the Wrestling Observer rating on the Lothario Jim Cornette match. What do you guess?
Half.
Dud.
So
do you remember
zero? Is that?
So back then, one of the ratings was to not rate it. DUD, all caps, dud.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember, like if you get a firework, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a dud.
It's called a dud. Yeah.
I didn't know that he did that.
That was a thing back then. I don't think it's a thing anymore.
No.
We got a promo segment with Brian Pillman, Owen Hart,
excellent,
and Stone Cold.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just say before we talk about the promo, I laughed out loud at the Owen Hart King of Farts sign. Maybe I'm still a 12-year-old boy, but Owen Hart's nickname was the King of Hearts, and someone had a sign that just said King of Farts. It was incredible.
It did register to my brain.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a pretty good one.
And
no one wants to be called that.
No, who does? And so the whole point of this promo was Pillman talking shit about Philly. His tone and the way he talks kind of reminded me of Karrion Kross. And I read Karrion Kross's book a couple weeks ago, and he said Pillman was a big influence on him. So I could definitely hear it now that I know that.
I could see that. Yeah.
They were talking crap about Brett, Owen's brother, saying he's scared of Stone Cold. They bring out Stone Cold. He doesn't even have his iconic music yet. It's like this weird, ominous orchestral
no glass
shit.
break.
No glass break. The Stone Cold promo was good, but it was so fascinating to see and experience a promo from Stone Cold where the crowd was not behind him yet. And this is the famous promo where he says, if you put the letter S in front of the word Hitman, you have my exact feelings about Bret Hart, which is an incredible line also.
Called him the shit man. Yeah, which is, the two brothers, it works perfect. The King of Farts and Bret the Shitman Hart. Oh, wow. We're really taking it to the fucking
the poop jokes.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
The
toilet humor.
Yeah.
And then after that promo, we got a tag match for the WWF Tag Team Championships. It was the Smoking Guns, the champions, Bart and Billy, who I mistakenly said in a previous episode were real brothers, and they are not, versus Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. And this was I was confused for maybe 5 to 6 minutes of this match because I was like, who are the baby faces? Who are the heels? And,
I don't know.
And quickly I understood that it was the Guns that were the heels. But also Owen was just talking shit like 5 minutes ago, so it was kind of weird.
It's hard to see Owen especially with all we've watched lately, Owen and British Bulldog to be baby faces. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Bulldog was getting cheered though. I feel like the only reason that they were the baby faces is because Bulldog was on the team. Because whenever he did anything, the crowd was super hyped about it.
Owen and Bulldog had vandalized Sonny's poster, which is kind of a heelish thing to do.
Yep. Yeah, it was just kind of it's, is it a big deal that I didn't know? No, but it was usually you either know that they're both liked or that one is liked and one isn't. And this one it was like everyone was kind of lukewarm. And then eventually Owen and Bulldog successfully pinned the Guns and got the win, and they got a huge pop. Maybe it was just for Bulldog, or maybe it was just for the title change. The match was a little boring, if I'm honest. Like it was okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just didn't grab me.
Yeah. Sonny quits the Smoking Guns because they don't win, which is kind of funny.
Classic Sonny.
Sonny's always doing some stupid shit in this era, but
always leaving men for dumb reasons.
So that was an 11-minute match with a Wrestling Observer rating of 2.75.
Oh, glad he gave it 3/4 of a point. 3/4 of a star.
Right. It really mattered. He's precise. Like these things aren't just thrown around willy-nilly.
Is this why you wanted to move to 5 stars? Because you want to be like Dave Meltzer? Are you a Meltzer fanboy?
I'm not a Meltzer fanboy. In fact, I think I have these just because I think Meltzer's so funny to laugh at. But we had a promo with Paul Bear and Mankind from the bowels of the arena.
Paul Bear with the classic screechy voice. My God, he was like,
Yeah,
I don't even know how he does that.
he's obsessed with making the Heartbreak Kid miserable. That's the gist of the promo. I'm interested, like
Yeah.
I wanted to watch this because of that match. So whatever they got to do, I still feel like Paul Bear is such a whore. Like we watch this 90s stuff, you think of him as like an Undertaker manager, but he's got Kane sometimes, he's got Mankind sometimes, he's got God knows who fucking else, fake Undertakers and
A
shit.
cadre of scary individuals.
Yes, but now we got match 4. Mark Henry versus Jerry the Klingon Lawler. Jerry the King Lawler. This is Mark Henry's first pay-per-view match in WWF, so they want to make sure they show that he is indeed the world's strongest man. He, of course,
isn't it just his first match period, or did I miss something? Because I thought they said it might have been his first match period.
It might have been his first match period. I'd have to confirm. Well, either way, what I said wasn't wrong, because if his first match is on a pay-per-view, then it's his first match on a pay-per-view. I don't know.
Just
whatever.
A comma in there.
So Lawler, I love Jerry Lawler.
Me too.
I hope he gets well soon. He's suffering from a stroke right now. He plays mind games. He was a very big deal before wrestling was televised
in Memphis. Syndicated. Yep. Slashed, got bricks thrown at his windshield. He got a lot of heat back in the old days.
But by the time we saw him, he was in his 40s, and he was just finding ways to do the psychology, the wrestling psychology.
Wow, he was 40? He was in his 40s? I thought he was older somehow.
47.
Yeah, so, okay, he's 47, almost 50. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just running. He's hiding. But that's, the thing is, this guy still wrestles to this day. He doesn't do anything, really. He doesn't really even take a bump, but somehow he's quite interesting.
He gets heat. He knows how to piss people off.
So this is a squash match, but still,
he made him look good.
He made him look good, and then Triple H and Jannetty jumped in to try and jump Henry, and he tosses their asses out of the ring too. So they give him two, sizable dudes to just sort of show that that Mark is a beast, and he is. I mean, he's a real Olympian.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck he won, it was involved like a large amount of weight.
Powerlifting, I think.
Yes, I think that's what they call that. So, Dave gave this one a half a star. Half a star. I would say
Dave doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, not every match needs to be a technical spectacle.
I think this match puts over Mark Henry as a big ass motherfucker who's
got a bright future ahead of him.
Who's got a bright future, and he puts him in there with a fucking legend.
Yeah.
I think that right there earns it more than a half of a star. But
I agree.
But that is what it is.
They're going Meltzer.
Yeah, fucking Meltzer. Match 5 was the final curtain match. No DQ. Must end by pinfall.
What the hell is a final curtain match?
They're basically saying it's a blow-off match. It's Goldust and The Undertaker, who have been feuding for a while, and they've done all this stuff, and now they're saying, whoever wins this wins the feud. Goldust, of course, Dustin Rhodes, when he was doing very kind of pervy glitter, weird, meaty Ziggy Stardust, body rubbing shit. I don't know. He was very strange.
Very sexual.
Very sexual in the least sexy way.
Yep.
And he was versus The Undertaker, who we all know and love. I feel like, he had Marlena with him, and she was smoking a cigar ringside.
Yes, his wife at the time. I don't think they had broken up yet, but that was a weird thing. I think they got divorced, and she was still his valet for a while. That must have been pretty awkward.
Right. I think on the plane ride from hell, he got drunk and sang to her through the plane PA.
Jeez. Yeah, that tracks.
And she was humiliated. But this was pretty surprising. How straightforward this was for
a final curtain match.
Yeah, and for a no DQ match.
Solid nonetheless.
Yeah, the Goldust pretty much dominates until Undertaker sort of gets his shine, does the choke slam, does the tombstone. That's it.
That's all she wrote. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a 10-minute match there. I mean, so far this thing is not like, I mean, this is In Your House, right? So these pay-per-views are sort of like to augment things between the television and the actual like major 4 pay-per-views. These pay-per-views cost less money, and they were frequent. So we can't expect everything to be like a home run.
Yeah. What did old Meltzer give it?
Well, what do you think? Did I already say it out loud? What do you think
He
Meltzer
said
gave
2, maybe 2.5.
it? Yeah, I gave it a 2.5.
Yeah. That tracks.
Heartbreak Kid gives a promo. It's lighthearted. He says mind games won't work on him regarding his match versus Mankind, because there's not that much going on upstairs for Shawn Michaels. He says that about himself. He said, "Well, if I had more of a mind, maybe the mind games would work, but there's not much going on up here."
Very self-aware.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny promo. He's just kind of like, "Oh, I'm the dude, and I got to fight this fucking weirdo, so it's gonna be weird."
I'm a dude. He's a dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then Shawn Michaels, the WWF champion, versus Mankind with Paul Bearer. What'd you think of this one?
Best match on the card. It was fantastic. Super long, but not in a way that felt too long. I think it was paced perfectly in terms of like when the shenanigans started. And even though it ended in a DQ, I still feel like it was like the crowd was interested in it the whole time. I mean, obviously all the girlies love Shawn Michaels and his little tush.
Yes.
But I thought it was great. I think it's no surprise that I love Shawn Michaels and I love Mick Foley. So you put them together and you're guaranteed to get something good. And even Papa Meltzer thinks so too.
Yes. So Mankind emerges from a fucking casket, and Heartbreak Kid enters with like the full pyro. So you have quite a contrast, right? Like,
yeah.
One is like dark and dreary and a casket. The other one is like, sensational, what you think of like WWE now, boom, like just really different types of wrestlers colliding. And it's a wild brawl. It's like suplexes onto chairs and like top rope table spots and fucking there's glitter everywhere from
the Goldust match.
The match before they fucked up and didn't clean it up. So they're both covered, in gold glitter. There's interference. There's Paul Bearer. There's Vader makes his way into there at some point.
Big stinky Vader.
Undertaker comes out from the fucking casket at some point. It was one hell of a fucking ride. It was a great match. I mean, the entire thing is like was kind of hinging on this particular match. I think without this, we wouldn't have much of a pay-per-view. But this is something that like I should have probably already seen. And I highly recommend everyone seeing because it's kind of Shawn Michaels still in his prime and Mankind still in his prime.
I think Michaels won the belt from Brett in the Iron Man match at WrestleMania that earlier in the year. You've seen that, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Michaels retains the title by DQ because of the Vader and Paul Bearer interference. That was the only disappointing thing for me. I mean, I guess if I had to say, if I was Dave Meltzer and someone held a gun to my head and found a reason to take off 0.25 of a star, I would say that it was, not a satisfactory finish being DQ, but it is kind of
it was the right finish.
B-show pay-per-view. And also it sets up a lot for, Undertaker and Mankind.
Did Meltzer say why he gave it 5 stars? Like, is there any little blurb or anything? Because is this the first time he ever gave a WWF match 5 stars or just the first time in a long time?
I just think it was one of the only times that year.
Oh, okay.
He was keeping WWE down in like the 0 to 2.5, and then he was giving New Japan the 5 stars. He's kind of weird like that, right?
I mean, he just likes technical wrestling that which I don't dislike it, but I think that I just don't agree with the way that he grades things. I think that a match can be a 5-star match and not be the most technically spectacular thing you've ever seen, as long as the in-ring work is sound and logical, like from a psychology standpoint, and then also just looking real. If there's a good story behind it and the crowd's invested, that that could make a 5-star match to me. So I think that what he thinks is a 5-star match is not what I think a 5-star match is, but that's not to say that his 5-star matches aren't good. They're great.
Right. Yeah, usually if he does a 5-star match, there's something to it, but
I mean, where you get into the ridiculous side of him is like, oh, it's 7 stars or 6.25. I'm like, bro, you're going over your own scale. Why are you doing that?
yeah, I feel like I think the original, because it was really what did Jim Cornette and his buddy the Weasel or whatever the fuck his name was that started it.
Weasel?
Yeah, there was like something to that effect, and Dave copied like fucking this Weasel guy's review system, and it was supposed to be up to 4, and 5 was like, oh my god, you just blew your fucking gasket.
Shot your wad.
5 was supposed to be like going over the 5-star rating, like on the 4-star rating, and now 5 is kind of just like, well, as long as Will Ospreay's in it,
or the Young Bucks.
Yeah, or the Young Bucks.
So that was the end of the show, right? It was a great main event for sure. I always like it when the main event is for the World Championship. We've definitely watched some things lately where it hasn't been, and I'm kind of like, it just sort of takes the wind out of my sails. But this match delivered.
Yes, it did. Did I say the guy's name was Weasel or no?
You did.
Okay, so it's Norman Weasel Dooley in the late 70s started this system, and it was adopted and popularized by journalist Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So if you ever look up Norman Weasel Dooley, if you want to know the OG wrestling ratings guy.
OG star ratings guy, okay.
All right, cool. So we learned something kind of today.
Yes, we did.
All right, so final thoughts. Undercard for me was a mixed bag. Some quick comedy matches, decent tag title bout, whatever. Henry debut. I mean, yeah, it was kind of flat, but but it was like it meant something because of where he was going. Main event, obviously, is a classic. One of Foley's greatest matches, they say. It was HBK peak form. Our rating system is fast forward, play, or rewind. Fast forward being boo, play being yay, rewind being double yay. I'm going to say it's kind of right in the middle for me at a play. You should watch it, but you could also just watch the Mankind Heartbreak Kid match, and anything else that happened is pretty much something you've seen or seen something similar that may have even been better. But what say you, Aaron Fink?
I agree. I'll give it a play, but I think what you said a second ago is probably the best way to do it is just watch the main event. You can skip over everything else. It was kind of interesting to see Sandman and Tommy Dreamer and Heyman for 5 seconds, especially I imagine back then, if you were a fan of both promotions and you saw them, you'd probably be flipping out, which is cool. But we have the benefit of hindsight, and we know that invasion angle was very short-lived. Didn't really do either side any favors, except to get Rob Van Dam jumping off the Raw sign at some point in the near future, which is cool. But yeah, I feel like just pick out the best part. You could even say it's a fast forward. Just watch the Shawn Michaels Mankind match, but I'll be nice and I'll say it's a play.
Just a little trivia for this pay-per-view that we just watched, Mind Games. Mark Henry had a little Liebeck v. McDonald's Easter egg there. I don't know if the famous lawsuit of the 90s where somebody got hot coffee spilled on their lap at McDonald's and sued for whatever, a couple $1 million. That was still fresh in pop culture. So the WWE leaned into the topical humor, and there was a hot coffee angle where Lawler threw coffee at Mark Henry. I thought that was interesting.
So topical.
So the main event historic rating, I'm looking this right now again. So it was only a handful of WWF matches in the entire 1990s to get the 5-star honor, which is something that AEW enjoys every Wednesday now. The glitter botch we talked about already, but they were not supposed to have glitter in the ring still. But it's one of those unique quirks that fans still talk about regarding this match. Should we get? Let's see. Listen, I don't want to play a voicemail. You can always call us, leave a promo on our voicemail. We don't pick up; it goes straight to voicemail. And you can tell us what you like, what you don't like about the show, what you want us to watch, what you thought about what we just talked about, whatever you want to do. It's 626-657-SLAM.
Pick up the phone.
That's 626-657-SLAM. And I have a Grapple City Rewind championship belt on the way that even has the phone number on it. So when I'm wearing it around town, if you see me and you forget the number, you'll be able to know 626-657-SLAM. I'm going to call this guy right now.
Yeah,
I'm not going to walk up to him. I'm going to call him, leave a message.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to talk shit on Google Voice.
So we've had some good promos cut on us lately, but today I think I'm going to dig into our social media. You can always find us. We're at Grapple City Pod on TikTok. We're at Grapple City Pod on Instagram. We're at Grapple City Pod on X. We're grapplecitypod at gmail.com if you want to send us an email. Let me see. While I'm pulling that up, let me play some ominous 1990s modem. So last week I said that European crowds are awful because they hijack the show and they don't let the wrestlers breathe and have moments to react to. It's all about themselves. That pissed some people off on TikTok in particular. Shocking. Right, I know. Scott52718 says that I nailed it, which I did. Tyler says, this is like saying you don't want people to sing at a concert because it takes away the singer's voice.
To which you said,
please don't sing, Tyler. We don't want to hear you sing at the concert. It does take away, especially if you're singing loud. You're just a fucking narcissist. You just want it to be about you. It's not about you. It's about the person you're going to see. Kind of mouth it, be quiet. You know your space. Don't get into my space, my hearing space.
I did go. So I went to go see Dashboard Confessional and Goo Goo Dolls at the Greek last weekend.
Your hair is everywhere.
Everyone was singing, dude. They were encouraging it.
Dashboard is like one of those like everyone sings along.
Yeah, but Goo Goo Dolls too. Everyone's But Dashboard, he was definitely like, okay, I want you guys to sing this part. So he definitely did that. But sometimes it lends itself to it. I have a feeling the kind of music that Tyler's going to see is probably that I want to hear the actual singer sing anyway. So him or the singer singing is whatever. Norwegian death metal, perhaps.
Yeah, he looks like like some K-pop turd or something.
Hey, but there's some good K-pop. Have you watched K-pop Demon Hunters? That shit was entertaining.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
What did you just say? Okay, do yourself a favor, go on to Netflix and watch K-pop Demon Hunters, and if you don't like it after 20 minutes, you can turn it off, but I'm pretty sure you're going to like it.
I'll get right on that. Okay, so this guy says, yeah, they just play sing-along. Actually, a lot more people agree with me than I thought. Alan is mad because he says he claims the matches got their time cut because of crowds hijacking the promo segments.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, some of the chants are funny, like, who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya?
I'm getting agree. You guys are no fun. Too many people agree.
Didn't somebody talk shit about your Sandman take you told me?
A lot of people said, well, the American crowds just say what? And I'm like, you know what? When I'm talking about your European crowds and saying they suck, I'm not commenting on American crowds. How many times have I said American crowds, okay, this crowd's too quiet, this crowd sucks? Like, both things can be true. So
yes. American crowds are often too quiet, and the what chants are infuriating. I will get behind a lot of the people who say that. Yeah,
both things can be true. There can be like a nice like middle ground. I think someone said like it's better than being two marks. I think they're too smart or something. I'm like, well, we're here to talk about.
Excuse me, I am very smart. Thank you very much.
I am the tribal Keith. Have you ever seen Have you ever seen he's this indie wrestler, Big Trouble Ben? Mm-hmm. He like makes fun of wrestling and wrestlers, and he has this whole bit on Instagram where he like warps his face with a filter, and I am the tribal Keith here with a new spelling, and it's like he has to spell it with instead of I's like ones, and he's like, because I received a cease and desist from the OTK, the original tribal Keith. I acknowledge you. there's like some other podcaster it's called like the Tribal Keith. It's like, this guy is fucking funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, look for like Big Trouble Ben. He's a 7 foot tall indie wrestler. Really fucking funny. Oh yeah, this guy called us stuck up marks who think they're too smart to enjoy the show. But I love wrestling. I enjoy wrestling. I enjoy talking about wrestling. And
You can be a mark and love wrestling at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
if we didn't love it, then we wouldn't have things to say about it. We would just be like, yeah, I watched it. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, if I thought I was cool, like too cool, I wouldn't be doing like a nerd culture podcast where I'm talking about this thing that other grown adults chuckle at and just want to tell you that it's fake. It's
Yeah,
like,
I don't
obviously,
think I'm cool at all. I definitely
Yeah.
don't. I do think I'm smart because, I spend a lot of time learning about things, and just I know more than you doesn't mean that I hate you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not your Tribal Keith. I'll just say that. But
Is it Keith or Keith?
I think it was like, I'm your Tribal Keith.
Keith like Keith, right?
Yes,
Not Keith
yeah.
like
Or KE1TH.
like the stuff from weed, the crystally stuff.
No, that's your Tribal Keith, man. Oh, I went to Universal Studios,
Speaking
Hollywood.
of Keith, you went to Universal
Yeah.
Studios.
I went to Universal Studios Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights the other
Oh
night. and
yeah, how was
they
that?
They had a Wyatt Six maze, and I was in the line with like all these wrestling people. It was funny. Like,
Of course,
there was this like fucking 5 foot tall Roman Reigns. Like, he had the haircut, fucking like the same,
the
fucking
stupid
shoes,
thing on
like
his hand, the
dude,
glove.
he didn't have the glove, but he was wearing like a
Wow.
Stone Cold shirt. But he had like, it was tied up with the undercut and everything, and the beard was the same. I said to my friend, I was like, "Hey, that guy's like, looks like Roman Reigns," and he looked back at me like all proud. And
Mission accomplished.
but it was cool. Like, I mean, it was fucking weird walking through a haunted house with like Uncle Howdy and all those other weirdos from the Wyatt Six jumping out at you, and then by the end, it's like Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt like sawing people's heads off. I was like, well, that's not really what they do in wrestling. It's like, they were like, well, we got to make this horror at some point. And she's like swinging on a swing, and then she's fucking sawing somebody's head off. I was like, no, they do a Hurricane Rana. Like, what is this? What is happening?
They Hurricane Rana somebody's head off.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done.
Oh yeah, what did we say about the Sandman? Oh yeah, you said some shit about
I
Sandman.
talked shit about him. I said he just doesn't do it for me. Sandman is a product of his time and place, and I think that what you said, he reminded you of a Denny's manager that you worked with when you were 18.
Yeah, he just seems kind of like a weird jackass that's hanging out people too young for him. But like Freddie Mitchell on TikTok says if the Sandman was a terrible wrestler in the ring, then so was Stone Cold Steve Austin. He wants you to know that
He was a little better than Sandman.
I feel like, I don't know, Stone Cold had his thing, and also as Stunning Steve, he was kind of aerial and shit. I don't know. I think he had more going on. Yeah,
he had a lot more going on, dude. Like, when the highlight of a Sandman match is that he did a Hurricane Rana like once, and otherwise just hit people with canes and bad punches and bad kicks. Like, Stone Cold had a lot more going on. Sure, Stone Cold was a brawler more than anything else, and his matches were kind of sloppy, but like, all you got to do is watch Stone Cold versus Bret Hart. It's not all Bret Hart that made that match a 5-star match. It was both of them.
I can't think of maybe I'll be proven wrong as we journey down the memory lane of ECW pay-per-views, but I don't think there's any like, well, what is the best Sandman match? Like, someone send it to me, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I would like to know.
I'd like to see the most epic Sandman match.
Great gimmick, awful wrestler. I think that's how you can sum up Sandman in one sentence.
Warren Spears, I think he agrees with you. He said he maybe got awful in the ring, but the reason he got huge wasn't for his in-ring work. Paul Heyman was a genius and booked him to be nothing but an entrance and beating people up with a Singapore cane. And that's kind of what we were saying. That's true.
Yeah, I get it. I think both things can be true at the same time. Amazing entrance, amazing character, shitty wrestler.
Well, that concludes episode 19 of Grapple City Rewind. I'm excited because next week we have made it to a place that 98.9% of podcasts never make it to. I just made up that figure in my mind. But to episode number 20, and to celebrate episode number 20, Aaron, this is all you. It's your turn to pick the pay-per-view. So no pressure. What are we watching next week?
Well, I don't know how much of a celebration it is. Let's watch Royal Rumble 2000. Let's watch our first Royal Rumble. And I don't remember who wins it, but I do remember this pay-per-view has the first tag team tables match ever.
Wow.
And I believe it also has the in-ring WWF debut of Taz.
Does it have a a Cactus Jack match?
Yeah, I think it might even be just him as Mick Foley by this point. I think it's Mick Foley versus Triple H or something.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Got a little more Taka Michinoku in there. Okay, some Big Boss Man, some China, some Bob Backlund, some Chris Jericho. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Rock. What's happening? Yeah, Dudley's. This is cool. Our 20th episode, and shares some of the same numbers as the year 2000. So I think it works. It all ties in.
I did it on purpose.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks for listening to Grapple City Rewind. That's all we got for now. So until next week, we will catch you in the cheap seats. Thanks, y'all.
Bye-bye.